Welcome to Spark Your Joy, Encounters with Spirituality and Creativity, a monthly podcast in which I, Eva Bojashka, will be interviewing international artists, filmmakers, musicians, sound healers, yoga teachers, wisdom teachers, creatives, about their life journeys and exploration of spirituality, creativity, and everything in between. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Spark Your Joy, Encounters with Spirituality and Creativity. Today, my name is Eva Bujashka, and today I have a special guest, Axelle Vallancien. If I have to give some profession or a label or direction, she is a multi-passionate light seeker, a mentor, a guide, a writer, an inspirational speaker. So as you see, many things. So I'd rather would like to allow her to present herself and tell us a little bit more. What is she doing? What is she dedicating her life now to?
Thank you, Eva. I'm so happy to be part of this sharing today. And if I had some words to put on what I'm offering now, as you say, because we are all always in evolution, but now I really focus on helping entrepreneurs, spiritual and well-being entrepreneurs, to build and grow businesses really in connection with their soul mission and desires, so that they can create impact, fulfillment, and global wealth in a completely new way, unlimited, in fact, really unlimited. So this is my passion of the moment. And I guide these entrepreneurs in many different ways, in collective and also in one-on-one sessions.
Yeah, and I also saw on your website that you participate in conferences, you organize conferences actually yourself. You also you have participation in podcasts.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I love, yes, I love speaking to really share all that I can share to open, in fact, new paths in the heart of people, so that we can really create our best future, actually. Yes.
Yeah, to create our future.
Yeah.
Okay, and maybe we can start with a little bit about yourself and about your personal story. I find that always very interesting.
Yes. Yes, I love stories also. It helped me a lot to connect with stories of others. So if I can share something today, what comes is that I grew up in an environment very insecure, very unsafe for me as a little baby and then as a little girl. So I developed a lot of stress and a lot of survival postures, survival modes. And so I developed also control, so that I could always anticipate and adapt myself to the environment, to the outward, so that I can feel the most secured as I could. And so it gets me to disease at one point, and to overwhelm. And I also, in the same time, have always had in myself a big life force, a deep faith. So it was really, really experiencing living with both, like on the human being point of view, it was really, really chaotic, like a chaos and survival energy. And in the same time, I was always feeling this deep spiritual dimension and connection with something much greater than who I was and who I am. And thanks God, it helped me a lot. And I think that I first choose a business lawyer career.
Wow.
Yeah, for years, because I think that the law was really bringing me security, actually, order and structure, and I needed it. And also because the idea of justice has always been something important in my life, but now I realize that it's much more in a way of self-balance, inner balance, than justice, you know. And so I had been a business lawyer for more than a decade, actually. And so I really connect with the masculine way to work and to grow a business. And it was okay for me at that point of my life, because as I said to you, it was my way of feeling safe. But then my body completely, I don't know how to say in English, but burn out, I mean, cracked. And then I really feel the time to open to something else and to plug in the unknown, but to plug in the unknown where in fact are the infinite possibilities and our greater self. In fact, I needed to rebuild my inner safety, my inner security, and to release the control that was always here in my life. So I started a new journey. In fact, I let my business lawyer career go and I opened a new space, and I trained many different things with coaching, hypnosis.
Right, you also have hypnosis. Yeah, sorry.
Yes, tantra and consciousness, mindfulness, and I don't remember, because I always choose things, and nonviolent communication and many different things. I really followed my intuition, the call of my heart, and I train and I train and I experience and I experience, and I continue this path because I am passionate of these things. And then I opened my own company, and I became a coach, but for companies, for corporate world. So it was more in alignment with me, but I still needed to grow more my inner security to really, really take the responsibility to show up in the world as a spiritual mentor. Because in my family, spirituality was something like dangerous, actually. So there was a lot of hostility, a lot of judgment, and even humiliation, you know. So it was really difficult for me to show up myself as a spiritual guide and mentor. And this is who I am. So it was like a very essential part of me was still hidden. And so, and it's been only a couple of years since I said I am making my coming out, spiritual coming out.
Coming out from the closet.
On Facebook. And yes, this is my coming out. And actually, my father stopped our relationship when he saw that. So it was really, for me, I knew it was such a big decision, but I was ready to walk my path, whatever was happening in my words. And but now we are in a relationship now, but all this part of who I am, he never asked any question. It's like it does not exist. And it's okay. I mean, we have all our rhythm and all our way to experience life. But now I'm not hidden that anymore. And I really help people to connect all their dimensions, because for me to create our best future is really we cannot do it without connecting with our greatest dimension, with our highest self. And our highest self is also in the quantum field, within all the infinite possibilities, and it's not tangible. It's first like energy, and then it creates in our material world.
Yeah. So actually, you mentioned the quantum field, and I know that you are interested and investigating and also helping people and connecting the soul connection. And maybe you can share a little bit about that. And I think that is also the main focus today of our conversation, of how to create our future in alignment with our soul desire. And yeah, so actually, yeah, you're welcome to share more about it. I'm very curious to know more about it.
Okay. Yeah. If you have any question, please ask, because it's very vast, actually. And what I can say, perhaps just to start, is if we are all very honest with ourselves, we all have a deep core that we can feel and hear sometimes in our body, like an inner truth. And most of the time, human beings don't listen to it, or and they repeat patterns that they learn from others, from their family, from their friend, from society, and they don't really create their life. They are just repeating not the known. But in fact, the real, for me, the real happiness, the real love, the real harmony, the real wealth is or are becoming from the unknown. And the unknown is in connection with our deep core. And this is why it's so difficult. And this is why it calls for a lot of courage and faith to step in the unknown and to say yes to our deep core, because this is a unique path. This is our own path. Nobody walked this path before us, and nobody will walk this path after us. This is a really special path. So it means that you are walking without repeating what others are doing, with the faith that your path is the most beautiful way to experience life. So yeah, I wanted to share that first. So listening to our inner call, which can manifest in so many ways, as I say, and then to create with the unknown, in fact, to play with all the quantum fields, which contain infinite possibilities. I mean, everything is possible. The only limits are inside ourselves. And the more we can open our limits and go beyond our limit, the more we can create things incredible for our lives. But we are really the creator, actually. That's what I believe, and that is why I experience, and that is what my clients are experiencing also.
Yeah, and I remember because we shared also a nice experience together in Corfu Island, where you are at the moment. Still there, right?
Yes.
um, and a beautiful festival, conscious festival. And we were talking also about the body, that actually even on the level of the body, we need to work
Yes.
with the body, because it recognizes the unknown as unsafe, and it's already
Yeah.
on a physical level, and that is also part of the one very important aspect for us to move
Yes,
into the unknown.
thank you so much, Eva, to remember that, to that. And I think this is the real big piece, actually, of this journey. In my story, in fact, I connect first to energy and all these levels that are not visible, and I made a lot of healings and activations. And I didn't understand why in my life things that I was so much desiring were not taking place. And I was repeating again and again the same creations in some space of my life, not all. And in fact, I realized at a point that my body was still stuck in the past with, memories in the cells and in the organs and in everything in my body, so that I had a big vision, a big intention, and I was really working like hard, to make it happen. But my body was not at all in the same space. And actually, my body wanted to make me stay at the same place, because this place was the known, even it was not good for me, even it was not comfortable for me. Actually, it was known, so my body was associating the known to the safety. And you know how much the safety was a big issue in my story. And I started, in fact, to re-educate my body, to talk with my body, and to train my body to feel differently, and to develop a new state of being, much more in connection with what I was holding in my heart, my visions, my intentions, my clear intentions for my future. And so my body started to, usually it's not easy. It's like you are crossing big waves, because the body, he will do everything he can do to stop you to merge into a new state of being, to create your best future, because he will put all he can to keep you in the known, but your best future is in the unknown. So it was like I was surrendering my body in all the uncomfortable period and times, and it's still a work. I mean, and this is a work for me. I believe that as a human being, we will do all our life, but with the knowing that this is just the game of life, and just surrendering that, and holding always the beautiful vision, so that the body can join, and the emotion can elevate, and then the body forgot what the known was, and start to become used to the vision. Even if the vision is not still concrete, it's still materialized in the life. As you know, the brain, all that you can imagine, the brain makes no difference between the imagination and the real three-dimension reality. So if you keep holding your vision in your brain and you train your body to feel as you are already living this vision, experiencing the vision for real, the body starts to relax and to feel that this is a new known. So he relax, and then your cells change in the same time as your brain connections. And suddenly the magic happen in your life and you don't understand, wow, it's here. My God. And in fact, it was your co-creation. And sometimes, you know, the quantum field is beyond time and space and environment. So in the quantum field, there is no time. So sometimes you can have a vision and you hold this vision and it doesn't happen. And then 10 years after, it happened. And in fact, it's crazy because it's beyond time. But in fact, it was just because you were not still the right match between this vision and what you were holding in your state of being, your body, memories. And so everything has to be changed, in fact. So that's why I really feel that we can create the unimaginable, but it always means that you will change inside yourself first. This is the key.
Yeah. We need to, from where we project our three-dimensional reality, right? From within.
Yes. Yes.
And actually, because you mentioned many practices that you've trained in and that you also implement within your work as a mentor and a guide. So I wanted also maybe to ask you if you would like to share a little bit about tantra and sacred sexuality, and maybe about the hypnosis. Just a couple of words about this because I find it very interesting. Hypnosis is something, if you want, of course, if you don't, we can also skip that. But maybe in relation to yourself. Sorry?
Yeah, it was pleasure. What I can say is, so I am a hypnosis practitioner, certified practitioner, and I only use it to create guidance to have people coming into an altered state of consciousness, amplified and expansion state of consciousness, so that they can really create the future without being annoyed or by the mind, in fact. So,
disturbed.
You know,
disturbing.
And finally, the mind is only repeating the known, so it cannot create anything, the mind. So to really create and to step in the unknown, we all have to access to beyond the mind. And that's why hypnosis is a way, but there are several ways to go beyond the mind, beyond the body, beyond the environment, and to create something new, in fact, to receive and bring to the material world something new. The practice I have is called humanist hypnosis, because there are many kind of hypnosis, and the one which really interests me is the one where people stay in consciousness, but they expand their consciousness. So they can really continue to orient and to drive their energy and their creation and their invention. Because I know that there is also hypnosis where this is the guide or the practitioner who do everything, and the people are not, you know, anymore in decision or, you know,
right. Yeah,
you
when
know, it's separate completely.
Yeah.
So needs not that. This reintegration of all the multidimensional levels. And
so it's,
with respect,
sorry, so it's something I imagine it's something like because I guide Yoga Nidra, and we were also talking about it. Yoga Nidra is also bringing you to this state in between being awake and being asleep, where on a cellular level healing can happen, and you can release unhealthy patterns and
exactly
and reconnect. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of all these possibilities, is that there is many ways to bring ourselves to this altered state of consciousness.
Yeah.
This is only modifying our brain waves, in fact.
Pathways. Yeah.
Yes. And Tantra, for me, was and is still a way to bring my body, so it's more, how could I say English? It's like more essential, more
awareness,
embodied, you know. It's a way to being more and more conscious of our life force, life energy, which is the sexual energy, which is the creation energy. It's the same for me. And to hold it the most longer as we can, because this life energy, this sexual energy will make all that is right to do in the time where we are. So it can bring healing, it can bring insight, it can bring breakthroughs, it can create, and it can give orgasmic feeling of life, like we are only a body of love, of deep life. And so Tantra is how you relate with life, with the eyes and the feeling of love and joy. And this life energy is not so often really hold and cultivate. And if we let it be in our body, it can really create many incredible things. And we just have to trust it and to willing not to do something with it. You know, it's let's let it express, give, so that we can receive, and then we can create things from a space where we are profoundly alive and aligned.
Yeah, thank you. And because you mentioned like the creative energy, the life force energy, and then you also mentioned about this well, the quantum field and the manifestation and creation of our future, creation of our own life. So I would like to ask you about creativity. What is it for you? Creativity. Maybe you can.
Yeah, I love that, because with just what you said, it's like, for me, creativity is the meeting point between our body dimension, so the way we feel the energy of life, of sexuality, of desire of creation, and also this multidimensional world, the intangible world. It's like the meeting point between both. And it also, for me, is really the meeting point, the creation between the feminine energy which is in all human beings. And the feminine energy is really this energy which receive and open and is in the flow and listen and trust and, you know, without willing to do anything with. So that's what I was saying with part of Tantra spirit, and in the same time, with the willing to structure, to give matter to what is coming in the form of energy. So to create in the tangible world. And for that, the masculine energy is really important to bring to the world also. So this is, yes, this is all this combination and dance between the intangible and the tangible, between the feminine and the masculine, between our bodies and our spirit and souls. Yeah, I don't know if it's answering your question.
Sorry. I
Yeah.
really, yeah, really, yeah, it's really interesting what you're saying. Actually, I was thinking about, yeah, this kind of transformation, transfiguring of the intangible into tangible, right? And
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's a great way and aspect to see creativity, creative energy, creative process. Yeah, thank you. It's really interesting way of seeing it.
You're
It's a kind of
welcome.
a opening also another aspect to look at it. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add something in the process for me of creativity is like, so for me it comes from the feminine energy. So as I said, this kind of openness and receptivity and listening to all the words,
Sorry.
intangible and tangible, and then to trust that at one point it will be the right time to put what we received in matter, so that the masculine energy can really come, but not to force anything, because there is always the right time when the seed is ready to become a flower, for example. And we don't have to do anything, in fact, to push. We just have to trust the divine timing. And sometimes it's not easy, because our minds, as I said, sometimes feel unsafe and want to control. So it's always coming back to the real creativity and the trust that it will come. And when it comes, when it's the right time, we'll have to step in the matter. We don't, you know, and it's not easy sometimes also to put in matter.
Yeah, because it's actually taking the action, right? Then
exactly, this is the actions. And when we are stepping in the unknown and put it in matter, we can face to a lot of resistance of our mind also, and the fears and the shame and the guilty and the unworthiness and many different human way of feelings. And that is where we have to step again and again and again in our trust, in our faith, and to again come back to who we are as divine human beings, as multidimensional beings, and as infinite possibilities.
Oh, so nice to listen to you. I'm already like, wow.
Thank you.
Like opening up, expansion and space, and Yeah, going beyond the known.
Yes,
And
yes.
mm.
Thank you, Eva, for
Well,
this
I
space.
see that we're going a little bit with the time, so I just wanted
Yeah.
to ask you something I wanted to ask you at the beginning. But we kind of flow, like the flow happened naturally to go into different direction, but it's all related. So I wanted to ask you about your book. You have a book, you're a writer, and the book is called, I have it written here in English because it's originally in French. Um, it is called Music and the Heart. So it is so
Yeah.
beautiful. So I really wanted maybe just a moment to share something about it.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I wrote this book. I love writing, and I think that the words are also transformative keys.
Yeah.
And in fact, I was inspired by, I wanted to share the story of a woman living in Paris and repeating, in fact, a life of the known. So she was working and having a business that was not really make her happy, and she was in a loving relationship that was not made her very happy, but and she was feeling that there was something wrong, but she was still repeating her life. And one day she received a letter from another city in France, and a mysterious letter from an old woman she met when she was a little girl. And she decided to go back to this city. And when she came back to the city, she, how can I say, she all changing her life.
Ah, mm,
Yeah, all changing her life. So, and in fact,
mm.
she, what I wanted to bring is that she really connect with a new way of living, and through music, she discovered that we have all a music in our heart, very special. And if we listen to this special music, then we can really live our life, our true life.
So beautiful. Yeah, the music in our hearts. I will I will I will remember that. I will come, like, I will stay with that after our conversation. And the other one that I even written down is your best future is in the unknown. I loved what you said.
Mm,
So also calling.
yeah.
Um,
Yes, and the longer you can linger in the unknown in your day,
mm.
the most powerful and quickly you will create and live your true life, which is big.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you want to share something special that specific that I didn't ask you? Because we're going over already towards the end of our
Yes, no,
episode.
it's perfect. Really, I feel that the space is
So
full
fast,
and
passing the time. We can
yes,
speak a
yeah,
lot. I am sure.
yeah.
Well, maybe you can share where people can connect with you. I will, of course, share your website on and the description of this episode. It is in French, but if you don't speak French, Google Translate is quite good, like the automatic translation, more or less.
Yes, thank you. And I have to, yes, to make it be translated in English as my book. I'm sure it will come. And
Yeah.
so people can connect me on Facebook also.
Mm-hmm.
My personal profile, because this is the one where I post very, very often.
Mm-hmm.
And so that people can be aware of all my offers, and can reach me by a private message so that we can schedule, a meeting and chat and see how we can work together to create
the best future. Okay. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, my love.
And for those of you who are listening or watching, if you are curious to know how creative you are, you're welcome to head over to my website where you can take the quiz, How Creative You Are, and find out.
Yes, great.
Well, thank you again, Axelle. It was so lovely
Thank
to
you,
have you.
Eva. I was so happy.
I'm so happy also we met. We also had a nice experience, and I'm sure in Greece, and I'm sure that we will meet soon again, somehow have the feeling. So
Yes, we will. We will create it.
Yeah. Thank you again. And
Thank you. Thank you.
enjoy.